particular issue, not that I want to get into it, that was supposedly going to be resolved 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago. It was going to be resolved.
I reviewed earlier today.
You know, that was an issue that was going to be resolved. Chip away at it every year, so it's gone in 4 years, and I don't know what happened over there.
The fat lady didn't say.
You know what, but you know.
She ate pretty good.
Yeah, but she ate pretty good, yeah. Yeah, that's why she's not stealth.
All right, let me,
But, again,
that's another piece of information that was on the table. Let me see if this makes any sense. What if we took from the 175, the 44,000 out, and say that's going to cover the reduction in, you know, we're not going to count on the 44,000 for starters, because that article is a lose. So that leaves us, if it was $45,000, it leaves us $80,000. Now, what if we split it 50-50, that's $40,000 on the town side, $40,000 on the school side.
44,000 from the 175.
It's 131.
131.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking of
Yeah, so it leaves you a little over $60,000 each.
So it takes care of the personnel issue.
So what happens
Just
to,
enough.
what happens to the money if that budget item's approved?
It'll be free cash available a year from now.
Or you put it in the stabilization, or you put it into solid waste. So so it becomes available, it's raised and appropriated.
You'll know that.
You put it into stabilization at the end if in fact
If it passes.
the article we moved up passes. Or actually, we can leave the article where it is, because I think stabilization was the last one. Or did we scratch it?
No, it's
No,
still.
no, it's still in there, but we were planning on passing.
Passing it over.
Since there's nothing to put in it generally.
How's that play?
Everyone expects this item to pass.
Take 44,000 off the top, split the remainder 50-50,
Yeah.
and do 44 and do, if Article 28 passes, do 44.
And if it doesn't pass, you do nothing. Any comment?
I have no problem with that. I guess that's a good second.
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, we expect the item to pass. I mean, being, you know, I don't think it's overly aggressive. Being aggressive is what we should be doing if we're trying to make things work this time. To me, to do that, I mean, we expect this to pass. I see nobody who's against it. I don't know anybody who's against it.
Oh, you'd be surprised what might pop up
Retirees.
at town meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get spot.
A lot of it would be due to the lack of understanding of the issue.
Right.
Not necessarily the merits of the
People will
argument.
look
And
at
it's
it
not
as-
necessarily going to carry the day.
I would rather have that in reserve if it doesn't pass. I mean, put it up front, you see if it works. If that doesn't work, doesn't pass, and you have that, what you're suggesting, in reserve, that's fine. But I can't see making the adjustment.
It's not practical to do it that way.
No.
This town meeting, they would be shifting gears. I could go along with the idea of taking out the 44K out of that number.
Mr. Chair, I agree, and then I think we're being a little conservative. Because I've been approached by a number of retirees, and they're gonna be at this meeting, and they're not agreeing that this is a cost savings to them, so I don't know if this will pass.
I think they'll find some sympathy.
Right.
People
They
don't
will.
like people messing around with other people's health insurance or with their own. And even if the argument is on good, firm ground as far as the rationale for doing it, any doubt raised in people's mind that someone else might get slighted, might be harmed, for the sake of $44,000, I think they're gonna find some sympathy. Mr. Chairman, in relation to your proposal, I certainly think you're much closer to where I'd like to see us be. So
keep working.
I'm trying, that's.
Yeah, I
all.
know you are.
You're
That's
doing
the
a good
whole
job.
idea.
Keep working.
That's the
You and
whole-
Marcy teamed up here to.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk today.
I know it, but it's, again, I think we're dangerously close as far as how we're doing things. And I guess the definition of being aggressive, I mean, we've been aggressive in our revenue estimates, and maybe we haven't been aggressive enough as far as prioritizing things and really recognizing that we're just postponing some of the inevitable in relation to the budget cuts that we're probably gonna be facing over the next 2 or 3 years. So, we should plan on it. It's gonna happen.
Well, I think taking 44, given the cuts we're making, some of which are gonna hurt deep in the veterans area, all these areas, okay, taking $44,000, which isn't enough to make that much of a difference in that way, and letting it sit for a year, okay? I just can't agree with it. I just can't agree with it.
Put it in stabilization, it becomes available in October. It's available in October, just takes 2/3 for us to get it out.
It takes 2/3 to us to get it out.
Right. And if you have a compelling argument to restore something or fund something, then somebody can do it.
Well,
I still like to see the
I
175
guess
sitting
the
there.
chair's gonna ask, I take it you could support that if we took that to a vote?
Yes. Reluctantly, yeah. Again, I'd like to go on record again as saying, I think the whole 175 should just be somehow or another held in advance. But if the board's gonna be going forward with, the majority of the board's gonna be going forward with something such as this, then we should be, if we can, unanimous as far as what we're supporting and putting forth in consideration. Heaven knows we don't need another budget proposal, another column.
I would view it as a happy compromise.
You have room for another column? You don't have room for another column.
Another column, so, I guess I'd ask the board if we get unanimous support of, taking, $130,000, splitting it 2 ways, and leaving the, $45,000, what?
Want to be exact, 44?
Well, 44 and 131, then whatever. And that, if in the event, the insurance article passes, we'll move to put the $44,000 into stabilization.
Why wouldn't we move to restore the cuts? Why isn't that just as easy to restore the cuts?
We're gonna restore the personnel cuts.
Then why would we move the 44 into stabilization? Why couldn't we move to, if we have to move, if it passes, and we have to move the 44,000, why can't we move to restore its cuts?
Jim, just in relation to that, we restored the personnel, which is the most critical portion as far as what you can go back and
I
revisit.
agree.
So that in October, if we're looking to make adjustments and restore some cuts based upon everything else that we finally found out, available revenues are available, then you can go back in and you can restore other portions of the budget, some of the cuts.
Yeah, I think the $44,000 is mostly symbolism, which is okay, you're entitled to symbolism, okay? But there are some real items that have been proposed here that need to be restored. One is the $6,000 to the Veterans Fund, I feel strongly about that, right? Another one is, I agree on the legal funds. We're gonna put $4,000 set it aside in some savings account when we can't pay our legal bills, okay? To me, I just don't think that is enough money to make that kind of difference if we set it aside. I think we should put it back into the budget. That's just what I feel.
In October, put the $6,000 back in, we'll go to town meeting, Oh, no, we have free cash, it will be certified too. But, you put the $6,000 back in, you can supplement and augment the legal budget, you can augment recreation if need be, and that's what things are prioritized with. You can augment some of the school budgets if that's what the priorities of town meeting and the board are. So, all those things you just mentioned can be addressed without affecting a thing on July 1st. It can all be addressed without affecting the budgets in October. The only thing that's difficult to restore is people. People. And it's the people that's being put forth as a compromise here, so that come July 1st, these people still have a job, town government, and some aides or whatever, portions of teachers on the school department side.
Except for the part that represents the 44,000. Except for the part that
And we can go
represents the
back and take care of
44,000.
that once all the rest of these things that are up in the air that we're juggling here, you get a more stabilized picture as to exactly what your revenue stream is. And hopefully, our estimates were good. Hopefully, we underestimated.
Well, Mrs. Bailey.
I'll just briefly agree with Mr. O'Leary, and I'll go on record as reluctantly going with that as a compromise. Again, Moody's Investor Service had suggested that we generate more free cash and then we add even more to stabilization. And you say, well, why put 44 into stabilization? We can get into the whole discussion of, let's take some of the 1.5 million out to restore these important cuts, but it's our job, and I'm not suggesting that, but I just, where do you stop? Let's take out 46, let's take out 52. It's difficult and unfortunate to make the cuts.
Well, the 44 would just be an act of convenience, put it somewhere.
Yeah, I understand that. No, I understand that.
And I don't think you'd have a problem with the FinCom supporting 44 coming back out in October.
If it needs to, but just.
$44,001, you might have a problem.
Well,
But, and what are we gonna do if it's $44,001? I mean, I think that's why, again, we don't know. There are so many unknowns, as the commissary said. And so rather than spend the 44, maybe that was a bad example, but I guess I was just responding to, some of Mr. Dardino's comments. Along with Mr. O'Leary, I would reluctantly go along and support that as a compromise, and I do see the need to go to town meeting, with not adding two Board of Selectmen budgets, one. So I can go along that. It restores the personnel cuts and the other cuts, or shortfalls can be restored if state aid holds up or increases, if the vote goes down, not up. If the Calpine litigation and bankruptcy is settled sooner rather than later, if all those things come true, then we'll be able to restore some of the line items or add to them. But if they don't, we have $44,000 is a small insurance policy, but it's better than nothing. Because there's plenty of capital we postponed and plenty of use for free cash. And some things, again, like the Calpine, didn't really come up and didn't really show itself to the schedule under which it was going to happen until after we agreed to the budget. And that one certainly showed the possibility of being to a magnitude, affecting the town to a magnitude.
Mr. Jennings.
I mean, obviously, there's 5 different approaches with some kind of themes. My own opinion is that, although the crucial thing to me right now is the decision when you want to restore the 3-cut position or not. And if you do, that should be done now and not in October, in my opinion. And the fact that you do, vis-a-vis what school supporters may find, my response would be, they may be upset. Have they ever listened to the town side? Because there's upset people and morale issue there. So the crucial thing to me is to make that decision. The rest of it can wait, as Mr. O'Leary says, till October. I may have wanted that money now. I can wait till October, no damage done. I'd like to see the legal money now, but I can wait till October, no damage done. I can do that on fire, police, and everybody else, because there's enough money for the run rate, I hope, to October. And then I'll have a better fix on free cash certified, on what the governor's budget did or didn't do, et cetera. And I'm not boxing myself in, and hope for the best. If I box myself in now, I know it's unknown, but I don't know what it is. Seeing the person, maybe, Yankee Finance Committee